Now, you may have heard of some exciting new permits filed by Universal that hint, as the headline suggests there, at an expansion project at Epic Universe. Well, folks, we actually have a little bit more detail on this specific story, but to round out what we have previously covered here on That Park Place, a new permit was filed very recently, and it listed I believe, a show building consisting of, I think, 150,000 square feet, which, which if you put that to as a point of comparison, put that in perspective, the Battle at the Ministry, which, by the way, just won a Thea Award for one of the best new attractions of 2025. Well, that attraction show building, which we know is huge in scale, is 172,000. So this is not something that is a small scale. This is very, very large in its construction, or at least that's from what we hear. Now, Alicia Stella is very much hinting that this is for Harry Potter, and I do believe it is. I think this is for the Wizarding World area right here. You can see by Reconstruct actually taking a photo of the area roughly where this might actually occupy. You can see it's just adjacent to the existing Wizarding World footprint over there in Epic Universe. Now, here's what's very interesting, Culture. We got two updates on this that we have to bring to everybody's attention. One, this from Universal Parks News Today. Universal response to Epic Universe expansion rumors, quote, exciting attractions coming. This by Lauren Strackner here. I want to go ahead and scroll down. Universal Orlando is preparing for some exciting additions to Universal Epic Universe in the future. Details about specific developments will be shared in due time. This is them specifically responding to requests for comment on this specific permit, and they do say Epic Universe. So this is coming, folks. This is the real deal, finally, which is awesome. And here's the other update, Culture, and this is why we're bringing it forward. And this is what I'm going to go ahead and ask you about. Here you go, from Orlando Theme Park Zone. First notice of commencement for Universal's Epic Universe first expansion project filed. The first notice of commencement for Universal's Epic Universe has officially been filed. The NOC lists Baker Barrios Architects as the contractor, with the work described as, quote, professional services. The permit has an expiration date of December 31st, 2028. Okay, so if that notice of commencement is correct, and usually they have these expiration dates a little bit farther out in order to give them some leeway on these permits right here, we could be getting a new attraction potentially in 2028. Culture, that would be far faster than what we predict will be the opening dates of Piston Peak and especially Villains Land. Is Universal going to essentially beat Disney to the punch when it comes to expansions for the Universal Orlando Resort destination, specifically their newest park they just opened?
Yeah, I think you are reading the room correctly. Although that particular group of architects focuses mainly on hotel structures.
That's
yeah.
interesting.
So it's possible that now, mind you, they also have a focus on, multi-purpose kinds of spaces as well, like children's hospitals and things like that.
Okay.
But can they design warehouses and banks and hospitals and data headquarters and the creative, electronic arts creative villages? Yes, they can.
Are you telling me we should prepare for a Hogwarts hotel? Is that what you're telling me, Culture?
I'm just saying, if anybody were going to do something, and we're talking about massive square footage, it doesn't necessarily have to be, a show building, although it certainly could be. And again, you have to consider that a lot of these exteriors are facades, and so it's not surprising that you would get an architect that could design just about anything with massive expanses,
Right.
that are hidden behind other functions. So, yeah, I mean, you could end up with nearly anything. And look, I mean, one of the things that a lot of what Disney was trying to get right and still is the idea of having a hotel be part of a entertainment structure.
Yes.
And so would it surprise anyone? No, but I think it's very important to understand where this particular group of architects comes from and from what they've designed. So, when you take a look at everything that they've built, their work speaks for itself. They have massive capabilities and have worked for many entities, especially in Orlando. They're well known in Orlando. They do a lot of work there. So whether it be, an education, complex or like I said, a children's hospital, they truly, they truly know what they're designing, and they're designing specifically for Florida. This is a good hire for 1,000 different reasons. For people like me, these people understand the ground upon which they are working, which is very important to understand that they are dealing with limestone and maybe a shifting sand of a sort, kind of a concept. But
Right.
they've designed massive complexes, including aquatic engineering spaces. So when I look at what they're doing, I think you couldn't have hired a better group. So
This is very interesting for a variety of reasons. The hotel concept, and you're right, culture. Disney has been trying to pioneer something by which you could potentially mix a attraction structure with a hotel structure.
mhm.
The everybody might think Clouds on Tower of Terror, but what I think of is actually Westcott culture. You're going to know this story very, very well. The
Yes.
idea being, I think the Imagineers coined the term "live the dream," and to give you an idea of what Westcott actually was now we have Disney's California Adventure, but the concept before, the one that predates Disney California Adventure, was Westcott, a kind of West Coast version of Epcot with a lot of similarities, but definitely major differences. And one of the issues with working in this space is that, well, the Disney cone or the line of sight that exists for Disneyland in order to maintain those sight lines and to maintain the effect of the berm, well, that didn't necessarily extend to the parking lot. And so when you're developing something in that space, it's like, okay, well, how do we keep out the outside world? Tony Baxter's idea was, okay, let's go ahead and line the edges of Westcott with a series of hotels. And on the upper floors, that will be the actual rooms. On the lower floors, that's where the attractions will actually be. And it was all going to be, connected via this amazing boat ride system, which was completely crazy. But instead of having individual countries, you were going to have individual continents. And obviously, you would have a mixture of architectural styles featured in these hotels, and that would keep your berm with Westcott. So the idea of incorporating a hotel concept with your, deluxe immersive theme park portal like Wizarding World, I think is an amazing concept. Never even thought of it, but you're right. The architects on this notice of commencement do specialize in that. That's going to be super, super interesting to see, man. And look, I think Culture's right as well. You could get a myriad of concepts here, not the least of which being like the great hall dining experience that we've heard lots of rumors about. I
Mhm.
believe there was a show type experience that was going to be connected to Wizarding World in the early days of development for Epic Universe. Unfortunately, that did get dropped. Maybe that's coming back online. There's endless opportunity here, but 150,000 square foot structure, yeah, bring it on. Like this is super cool, and it's amazing at the pace by which Universal's working at for with a park that just opened.
Yeah.
They definitely see opportunity right here. Culture. Any final thoughts before concluding this particular story?
I'm looking forward to it. I mean, based on everything that's been built before for these parks and the massive expansions that that they've already undergone and what they have planned for the future, I think a multi-use structure isn't beyond Universal or obviously this group of architects.
Yeah,
I think that being able to kind of experience what may have been a concept for Westcott or similar, or any of the boutique park ideas that they've had over the years.
That's true.
I think that the fact that Universal beats them to the punch is apropos for, current day, unfortunately.
Yes.
Disney seems to be content resting upon their laurels, and there's much more there.
Much more there. There's certainly opportunity abounds if you have the courage to pursue it, which Universal is, and I will give them all the credit in the world. They believe in theme parks. They believe in immersive concepts. They believe in guest satisfaction, and I think it is really paying off. It's getting industry recognition. It's getting recognition from the guests, and now they're putting the foot on the gas. Very, very cool.
Thanks for watching That Park Plays News. For more information, consider checking out www.thatparkplace.com. And don't forget to subscribe, share, like, and send this out on your favorite social media accounts.